What are you waiting for? We've got this. This is a Commonplace book, Commonplace binder, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to try to make this one pretty quick. So, you should start a Commonplace binder. Why? Well, why shouldn't you? Just make it, you know? We're already on video number 20. This is Commonplace Binder 101. They're not even 101 videos. They're only 100. So, like, just get it done. What are you waiting for? Just do it, okay? Be confident in progress. So you will make progress. You're going to write some stuff down. You might not look at it for 3 months. You might be like, oh, no, I have failed. No, that's how that's supposed to work. Sometimes you will write things, and you just got to let them sit a little bit. Like, I'm going to record this video, and then I'm going to freak out for a few hours, and then I'm going to transfer it to my computer, and then I'm going to freak out for a few hours, and then I'm going to, move it to the right file or folder, whatever, on my computer, and then I'm going to freak out for a little bit, and then I'm going to edit it, and then I'm going to freak out for a little bit, and, like, there are a whole bunch of different steps, and I need to do all the different steps. I don't necessarily need to freak out about it. Like, sometimes I sleep, and that's good. But it normally takes me, like, a day to do every single one of the steps. And so by the time that I actually upload it, it's like, oh my gosh, finally. Like, the recording process can be difficult, but normally it's not that bad. So it was bad last time, or the time before, or maybe even the time before that, because I thought there were people outside my door that were trying to get my attention, but there weren't any people when I looked out there, and I interrupted the video, and then I placed the stuff. You just gotta make it readable, okay? Don't pay attention to any of the other nonsense. I just said a lot of nonsense, and there will be nonsense that happens, like right now. My foot is cramping, and that's very uncomfortable, but you just have to make it readable. So there are some parts of this which will probably not be readable to you. They're readable to me, at least hopefully. Let's get to the rest of the things. Important information. I sure hope it is. If you have a Commonplace binder, or a Commonplace book, or a database of any kind, make the stuff important. Now, I don't have any information. What am I going to do? Well, you add some information, and then you add more of the good stuff. You don't even necessarily need to get rid of the bad stuff. You need to add good stuff. So just add better stuff than you have in there right now. So you could just write down, I have a pet, or I don't have a pet, or I would like one. And, you can just keep writing random things. Now, some people might say that you should have a very specific thing that you add. Maybe. But maybe you shouldn't even, focus on a specific thing when it comes to where you store it. Digitally focused? What's that? I thought this was analog. Really? In the 2020s? Oh, man. Yes, it is digital. Yes, it is analog. Yes, it is whatever else you want it to be, because this whole process, it's about the place in between places. So if we don't know where we're going to be, then maybe we're going to have something that transcends space and time and definitions, apparently. But yeah, some people have this digitally. I'm not really the personal knowledge-based guy. I might do that next year. I might chicken out. I might not be doing my Commonplace diploma. But this is about you. You should start a Commonplace binder. Why a Commonplace binder instead of a Commonplace book? Well, because binder allows you to do a lot more beginner-friendly things, like not have to pay attention to writing all the page numbers, which might make it so you never even start. Working on an index, which will make you not want to keep going, probably. And you can take stuff out if you mess up. So there's no worry about, not using the right number of pages or having leftover pages or having to... You just work on it. It's not that hard. It's literally a journal, okay? Depending on the definition, it's just a journal. You write down your fun stuff. There you go. Nobody needs to see it. Nobody needs to hear about it. I don't know. I'm not even going to ask to hear your version. If you want to show me your version, cool. If you want to talk about it, cool. If you don't want to talk about it, what's there to talk about? That's fine. How do you set it up? Well, talk about this in pretty much every video, but if it's Commonplace binder, goes in a binder. If you use paper, which you're probably going to use, you need paper. If you have rings, you need a hole puncher, and the hole puncher needs to match the rings. and you just hole punch the paper and you put it inside. That's it. And then like you write on the paper. Also, it's good to have a content section at the beginning, so that way even if you move the stuff around, you still have a general idea of where things are. But how do you know where the things are? Well, you use the tabs. So if you just divide everything into sections, they could be based on subject or monthly, or like it really doesn't matter. I prefer monthly and also the subject at the same time, as that way I know what I'm looking at and when it's from, or at least when I last worked on it. And so when it's done, I move it from the top to the bottom. That's it, front to the end. Get a binder. Now, you might already have one of these. They're not super secret knowledge. Like, you probably know what a binder is. So just get one. It's probably better to get a set of them. Now, I know people normally don't want to buy a whole bunch of things that they aren't necessarily going to use, but you'll probably find a use for a binder. Or you might know somebody who's like, well, I'm thinking about getting one, so, you can just get one at the same time. Or if a member of your household already has one and they already have a hole puncher, it might be that you get to borrow the hole puncher. That could be convenient. But yeah, this is where we get to go through all the stuff. Matching hole puncher, you got to make sure that the holes and the rings are the same. Otherwise, the pages aren't going to fit. You got to have a stack of paper. Why? Because you might run out, and it kind of sucks to like run out of paper. It just does. So make sure you have enough paper. Hole punch the paper. I feel like we pretty much talked about all this. You gotta hole punch the paper, because if you don't hole punch the paper, you're just gonna be like tearing the page, and then the rings are gonna get stuck, and it's not gonna look good. It's just an unpleasant experience. So hole punch the paper. Middle school me would be very upset by this, but middle school me did not have easy access to a hole puncher, so that's part of the problem. Keep in Workspace. So one of the benefits of having something digitally focused is you can take it with you. You can take it with you anywhere. If you have it on your phone or a laptop or a tablet or whatever else, you can just kind of bring it wherever you want. And that's kind of a problem with the binder, because it's an extra thing you have to carry. It's just kind of aggravating. So like, I don't bring it with me. If I do go somewhere, I bring like a little hand-sized pocket notebook, I think people normally say passport-sized, but hello. So yeah, just keep it in your workspace and you should be good. Contents page. Why is all the stuff missing below that? Well, because the contents page goes at the beginning, and you don't need to put a tab on that at all, okay? Just don't add a tab to your content section, because the contents go at the beginning. At least they do for me. If you want to put them at the back, that's fine. I wouldn't really understand why you would do that, unless you're using a writing system like Arabic, where everything's backwards compared to English. Obviously, it's I guess frontwards compared to anyone who grows up with Arabic. But yeah, if you're writing right to left or left to right, it might influence what is the front or the back of the binder. But the same concepts apply. Like, you can just start on one side and move to the other, and like, it shouldn't be too tricky. Maybe it will be, I don't know. But yeah, you just have your contents all the way on one end, and write what is in the binder in that location, and everything else will just fall into place, which is really nice. Front cover. Will your front cover fall into place? Well, I don't know if you actually need a front cover. Now, I know that is blasphemous. What about all the pretty covers I have seen online? Well, they're great. It's a huge problem for me, because I'm like, ooh, shiny. I should watch that video. And then I'm like, no. I see that it's 45 minutes. I don't have that time. Even if I 2 times did it. Like, no, I don't have time for that. I don't want to keep too many tabs open. You should have tabs in your binder, though. Like, if you have a content section, and if you're moving stuff around in the way that I'm saying, you really need the tabs, because otherwise it's going to suck. Because you're gonna have to individually go through and make sure that every single page is correct every single time you move it. Whereas if you have the tabs, you can just kind of like, whoop. It's not that difficult. What might be difficult is choosing a writing utensil. Which one do I use? A pencil? A pen? A marker? I don't know. Like, why was it, why does that matter? If it's your thing, you just make it yours. So hopefully you're not like grabbing chocolate, melting it, and then just like smearing it around on the page. Please don't do that. That sounds horrible. You probably look pretty cursed. But yeah, that's not really my expert opinion. I'm not really sure who can claim to be an expert on this. I'm not really sure if there are places where you can go to Commonplacing School. Maybe that will be a new YouTube thing. Like, I am creating a Commonplace Academy. I was actually thinking about how that would be pretty funny. You know, like Mr. B style, where you have a whole bunch of people. Nope, that was from the previous video. I was thinking about where we had stuff over here about creating, I think it was called a living fossil. I think that's how I worded it. But yeah, I was thinking it'd be pretty funny if you had like 100 people and you were like, all right, you guys need to take a test. And you get to bring 1 page of information with you that you think will be on the test. And then, you know, the top half of the test takers get to pass on their knowledge. And then you go through a bunch of episodes and they just keep going until only 1 person remains, or at least 1 person's information from the very beginning. So at the beginning you have like all these different trees coming down. I know when we talk about a family tree, it normally goes up. But this would be like reversed. And so you can see like the little bits as they just, whoop, they get cut off. But there's like 1 random strand that just keeps adding more things. Like I think it'd be kind of funny. But yeah, that would be extra silly. So, how might my videos create an expert? I don't know. Or are you going to become an expert if you start a Commonplace Minder? What's going on? What is going to create an expert? I don't know. But it might be you become an expert of you. That would be pretty cool. So I hope that you know who you are and you enjoy being yourself and you get to express yourself in whatever way you want. But yeah, I don't really know where to go with this. Watch it if you want. Don't watch it if you don't want to. You know, you can always skip ahead. This is video number 20, so hopefully there are more in the future. If you're just watching this for the first time, you can always go back. But yeah, if you do know someone that you think is an expert in this, please let me know. I'm sure there's somebody, some random person in the hills. No, probably on a college campus or near one. Bye.